Hello, everyone, and welcome back for a new year of our favorite thing that we can experience. Truly, the greatest experience one could have. Oakland Roots soccer. Al, I am joined by the lovely, always fashionable, always fantastic fellow beat writer, Jon from Oakland Roots, the Roots blog, Roots Pod. We'll be showing a whole bunch of that stuff later. Highly recommend. Make sure you go follow their stuff. I believe they're on Apple Podcast as well as Spotify.
Yes.
Man,
That's the first time I've been introduced as fashionable. Usually
hey.
fashionably late, but I'll take it.
So, since last year, a lot of things have changed in the Oakland Roots universe. More than not, we have seen a retool of a large swath of the roster, but also a lot of surprisingly nice pieces coming back. Golden Boot winner Peter Wilson, probably headliner among those. So, Jon, how would you say the Oakland Roots offseason went for you? Are you satisfied, or how are you feeling right now with the Oakland Roots?
Oh, very, 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 very satisfied. I think they went out and got the best coach available. That is already a change from years past. If anybody listened to the podcast, and has heard me talk about this subject over and over and over again, it is the profile of head coach that Oakland Roots have historically hired is not the same as Ryan Martin. Ryan Martin clearly sets himself apart. He's the most experienced USL championship head coach, and Roots got him. He was severely hamstrung out at Loudon. He had to work with scraps, and it worked out. So now he comes to Oakland. The team has a player budget to get him what he wants. And they've proven even last year that they will go out and get, a player that a coach wants. So I think, I even see down the road, I'm sure, and they mentioned this at Media Day, that in the next transfer window, they're going to evaluate this roster, and then they will add more pieces as we get down there. So, in regards to this offseason, I loved it. I've told people this is probably the most excited I've been about the team since 2022, when there was a whole changeover of that roster. That team was much more new, experience-wise and playing together than this roster is. So, and that being said, you can clearly see that the profile of player is a bit higher than in 2022 when they had Juan Guerra and they were signing essentially all of Juan's guys.
Yeah, for me, it's been very interesting to see the evolution of the offseason compared to last season. Last season was a lot of just kind of like, hey, look at this big move that we hope does things, where this year definitely seems to like, hey, these aren't the flashiest moves in the world, but they're also moves that in 5 to 6 months we're going to be like, oh, how could we live without Tommy McCabe? Like, and specifically, that's the biggest thing from watching, the difference between watching film and watching down at Media Day, watching the practices, was Tommy McCabe. It's never going to be the, like, he's not going to win a beauty contest of like, hey,
that's not nice.
Like, no, I'm talking about like the NFL Combine. Like, if you were to have like rank every USL player, it's just like the scouts are going crazy. But you watch him make a pinpoint perfect pass exactly with like scanning the field from when he receives the ball, and you see it consistently on film of like hitting exactly on the foot of his striker, exactly where he wants the ball to be in these incredibly small windows. And he's just perfect for what Ryan Martin's system wants to do. And like, is it going to look like a 4th division, like Sunday school English, like midfielder, where it's like, is someone really going to fast? He's going to get taken and like be just kind of, oh, someone's above a level.
Yeah.
But 95% of the time, he is going to be the absolute wizard. I think they nicknamed him the professor. His two parents went to Princeton. It makes a lot of sense. Like, just from the small interactions I saw from him on the field too, and like on media day for the interview, I really love what I'm seeing from Tommy McCabe, especially with him. With I don't know what to expect from Florian Velo. I'm kind of just like I want to see him in a couple games and just see how he fits in with the puzzle. Because, like, yeah, Peter Wilson, Danny Trejo, it makes like you're like it says what's on the tin, they're gonna go and do it. Where I think Florian is a lot more of a like kind of an enigma of where are you actually playing on the field? Because if he takes that secondary kind of like forward thing forward's position right behind Peter Wilson, he's going to clean up probably pretty well with what they're looking to do, especially what I saw from a lot of the set pieces. At least practice. I'm not going to show something too fancy, but they should be a lot more fun this year. Set pieces last year were such a disaster.
Yeah.
We hoped something would happen and they never did. Or the 15th Barbajai Najai corner kick. We're just like, who decided this? What's going on? It's just there was a lot of mistakes last year. I'm intrigued to see how this team grows.
Yeah.
Especially with like talking with people inside the Roots. There was an emphasis on, hey, the defense needs to change. The defense needed to be different because you look at who were in the finals last year. It was Tulsa, one of the best defenses. It was Pittsburgh, one of the best defenses, and it was an absolute slugfest. Maybe not the most exciting like football in the world, but it won. And the Roots this year, they've invested. They got David Garcia, which he didn't win the all USL 1 like defender of the year. But I know a lot of media people were like, he probably should have won it. So you're getting they put a lot of resources into a center back. They go get Keegan Tingy, local guy. I believe he's the De La Salle kid, as well as going, I believe, through Stanford. Their whole back defensive line, besides Hackshaw, which it could be definitely argued, I think Hackshaw will probably start the year. But if we roll up to Monterey Bay on Saturday and he's the third center back, there's no complaints from me.
Yeah,
he's just going to be he kind of has the same energy this season as Tyler Gibson, where I think early on there's going to be a couple Tyler Gibson starts where we're like, hey guys, we have these riches of midfielders. Why are we starting Tyler Gibson? And I think it may just be hey, you have Tyler Gibson, you have Tommy McCabe, and you just are like, the midfield is rock solid it's going to be boring, but is it going to be effective? It won't be flashy. You won't get like, I guess that's I'm bouncing around a lot here, but who do you think starts on the right wing? Do you think that's Prentice, or is that
on the right side? I mean, it's tough to say. It all depends with Mr. Danny Trejo.
That is fair.
He did play on the left side. He also moved out onto the right. So, I mean, what I've been gathering is I'm not sure if how healthy he is. Which is a concern already. That was the concern last year. That was there seems to be injury woes that are following him. But yeah, I think I could see Wolfgang Burton Jacqueson. He also lined up on the right side. So I think, I would lean Prentice, like you have it there. I think I would lean Prentice, and then we'll see where Velo is at. It's going to be a 4-4-2. I think that Velo will maybe drop deeper into that 10 role. And that is a spot that suits Batash as well. Batash finished the year in that position and looked really good. Velo is wrong side of 30, so they might have to manage him a bit.
Yeah.
So that being said, we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, especially with like there's a couple players that are like easy locks, but there's a lot of moving parts, which is a nice benefit to have, I guess, for the Oakland Roots, where in the midfield and at some points in the defense, if you lose a couple people to injury, you're not probably freaking out. You're probably like, that's not great, but we still have we have a Babosi, we have a Tyler Gibbs, we have a Ali Alabasawi, which I have no clue where he fits into all of this. He kind of seems him and Batosh, brain just disappeared.
You got it.
I was so close, just twisting. I don't know where they fit in. It's like one of those things where, like, mentally, I'm like, they should be starting, and then I'm like, well, we have McCabe, and then we have Babosi, and he's been like, especially his international play, he's been ramping up, and there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah.
Part of me feels that I have this weird feeling, and this is saying if everyone's healthy to start the year, where it feels like once again Wolfgang is, hey, the utility first off the bench piece that we don't really know what to do with him. He could be a backup to Florian. He could be a backup to Trejo. Oh, well, he's somehow found himself at left back and we all hate each other again. Like, though I do think left back is a slight, I think I love Dave
Vicente, yeah.
Dave Vicente's tape from college.
Yeah, me too.
It was like he didn't. It just kind of popped. There was so many times where you're just like, oh, you are better than this level, and that's already one of the top teams in college soccer. Mm-hmm. Like, he is ready for this opportunity. And is Julian Bravo going to be that stopgap for him? I fully envision eventually it will be Defense Vicente, Garcia, Edwards, and then Tingy or Fisher, whoever kind of comes out of that.
Yeah.
But like, that's a really nice keywords. Also, I want to put air quotes, like we've talked before, young, because I think all of them are 25 or 24.
That's young for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Florian Below, if you're listening. But no, I mean, of that graphic there, I think, I would question Bravo at left back. I mean, he appeared there at times early in Benny Feilhaber's stay, but I think Dave Vicente was signed with some intention. Yeah. In the preseason game I attended, Vicente took all the corners. I think his passing ability, his ability to get air under the ball is going to be very, very valuable. I mean, this team has pretty good size, almost it really does. Seems like above 6 feet. So looking further there, I think more so Bravo might have more duty backing up the center back spots because Camier actually is not currently rostered. That announcement would still have to come out, but Camier currently is not on the active roster. So if we're going into game one, I would think Bravo is that spell at one of the center back spots.
Him or probably Fisher, I would guess.
Yeah, Fisher played out wide. He got all the time at right back. In the preseason game that I attended. So I think when he was signed, he was announced as a defender. I think he kind of in the same vein as Wolfgang. He could be that utility guy. I think right now he's going to have a lot of duty at that right back spot. And you look at the outside back spot, and it is thin. It is very, very thin.
Especially with was it Alexiev, right? The player who tore his ACL.
Ilya Alexeyev, yeah, he's gone, so you're even more thin at that right back spot. I think he even played on the left side too.
Yeah,
But
he did. Mhm.
yeah, that tells me that we're probably going to have that the 510 kid, Jonathan, I think is Polio.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Someone
I think they're
please
from. I think
correct me on that last name if I'm getting it wrong. Tommy, if you're hearing this, help me out.
Oh, I'll give Ken a text.
Yes, yes. Ken, help me out on that last name. I'm gonna get some names wrong. All right. So
We improve over time. We
fine.
improve over time.
That's fine. You know, I watch a lot of European journalists, especially the English ones, and they butcher names. So if they can do it,
I'm trying to get the correct pronunciation on Timo Werner. So trying to get the how much things were put into it. Though, speaking of the center backs, Edwards, so what you were talking about just being larger this year. Like I think 3 days after he signed, I ran into him in East Oakland, which one of your first days just randomly going deep into East Oakland. Interesting choices, but the Wings are really good.
Oh
so
yeah,
I can't
get those.
blame them for that. They are really good.
They're great.
G-Fire Wings, highly recommend.
G-Fire Wings, Lucky 37, Fruitvale Ave. If you've never been, you gotta go, and also get some lumpia.
Oh yeah, it's the size of Greek center's fingers. You're like, oh my god. But Michael Edwards was there enjoying some fine Filipino delicacies. And I was able to talk to him there, and he is a legit 6'4". He came from the Colorado Rapid system, and he is legitimately like this may sound weird, but like he looks like an MLS player, like size wise, where it's like he doesn't look out of place. Of course, skill on the pitch will determine what level he eventually ends up at, but he was going to be something of at least rotational bench player for Colorado before they shipped him off on loan to Charleston. And he played, I think, sparingly, but at least Charleston was really good last year, so I don't really blame him for only getting a decent amount of time, but not like he wasn't like full run bore. But he looks big, he looks athletic, and then when I was watching him in practice, like it just looks really natural for him, especially just like in like 80% practice, like scrimmage sprints, like in just like close coordination drills and things. It makes sense that he could do very well at this level. He could be very, very nice. Him and Garcia, I think, could be one of the top just kind of like rock duos. But they could also get to this level and then just it just wasn't there. I think they'll both be good just because the Roots, I think, put too much emphasis on changing this defense for them to miss on all of them. I think they will have a couple of gems out these guys. Will they all hit? Who knows? But if we're at the end of the year and they're both starting and Hackshaw's the third and he's coming in the 70th minute, I will consider that a win. I will consider that a successful, good job, front office, the shadow board of whatever, the five. I have heard more different descriptions of this multi-member board and who runs it and who actually is the whole bunch of shenanigans over the last year.
At least they're up front who's on it now.
Yeah, at least we got
in previous years, Dan, it was like, no, you ask. Don't you fucking ask.
It is the cabal. No,
we don't know, and you can't know.
We don't even know. We're sworn to secrecy.
We don't even know.
They just like you just take like, so it's like fashion wear, and they're like, you must swear. But back to more important things, the Oakland Roots. This Saturday they're playing against Monterey Bay, a team that has maybe not the highest expectations, but they have a lot of new players. And just like last season, let me see if I can bring up this. Oakland Roots started out their second game of the season 3-2 defeat at the hands of Monterey Bay in Monterey Bay. The home team won every game last year, which for two teams that were both, I think, the worst two teams in the league at home is very impressive that they only won at home. Do you have any opinions about Monterey Bay FC? And besides, of course, their Eldritch Horror Kelpie. But we'll of course get to him later.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel about Monterey Bay, good sir?
Well, I don't know much about them. They've made some big moves this offseason, but it's nothing that strikes me as like, oh, world beaters. They're really going to turn the corner. I think if you were to ask me if I agree with where Backheeled and John Morrissey has them, which is 12th place, I would agree with him. So that's my thought on that. So it's probably either it's hard to say what getting them first is that a bad thing or is it a good thing? You know, I'm hoping it's a good thing. I'm hoping that Roots come out firing. I know that they had a preseason game recently. It was reported that it was a 1-1 draw. So I mean, yeah, hard to say. But I think I have them finishing 11th or 12th. But they always start strong.
That's the thing I was going to bring up. That's the thing.
Every year they start strong. But I think this is a great game one to have. It's really a great game one for the fan base. You know, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Oakland fans there. It's going to be very loud in the Oakland stands. So great game one to have, but I hope that they can hit the ground running, you know, Roots, that is, of course.
Yeah. The Monterey Bay, from what I've gathered from talking to some people at Monterey Bay and just like watching their offseason unfold, it looked like they were doing a lot of, hey, we're going to bet on some young kids. It looks like their goalkeeper is going to be a young up-and-coming national who looks to be, like, from what I've gathered against, that I believe Monterey Bay also scrimmaged against the Earthquakes. And he did relatively well in those showings, which could lead to, hey, can the offense get going? Because we've been promised this idea of Danny Trejo and Florian and Peter Wilson, which at least two of those guys can be kind of streaky. Peter Wilson especially, seeing that he had the heater of all heaters, which, do we actually know which one is the real Peter Wilson yet? Either way, he's still a club legend, but it's like, hey, is he going to start out slow, or is he going to be just pick off where he came, like where he was last year? Even if it's like, if he gets only like 10 or 12 goals, that's still probably a successful year. I'm not expecting him to repeat as the Golden Boot winner. I expect teams to be a little bit more tight on him, which could open up other opportunities. But especially with that forward group, like if Danny Trejo doesn't play, or Florian needs to have rest because he's like on the other side of 30, it slowly becomes a little bit more worrying where the goals are going to be coming from, especially if there's any injuries. Like if Peter Wilson goes down or anything for any amount of time, where are the goals coming from if there's any kind of chilling effect?
Yeah, right.
It doesn't seem to be that much depth, because Jockeson looked okay in film, but it just kind of looks like he'll finish, like kind of like Peter Wilson, like he'll finish it if he's in the position to be there for it. I'm just slightly worried about maybe slow starts, or if we'll sacrifice a couple of games like Orange against Orange County to start last year, where you're like, man, would have been really nice if you beat Orange County and Monterey Bay last year. The season's different. You could say that with so many games, I know, but like, I'm a little worried about the offense, which is strange to say that we like the potential for this unit is, hey, like I've been told by people, this could be the best offensive attack in the league. Mm-hmm. I'm also at the same time being like, what?
Yeah, a lot hinges.
Like, oh god.
Yeah, a lot hinges on that to be true. You know, you're for that to be true, you need Danny Trejo to be healthy. You also need all the rest of the guys to be healthy. Florian Velo, you know, you're gonna need consistent minutes out of him. And it's gonna have to click with everybody. You know, I'm very excited for a full season of Trejo and Wilson. But you know, Trejo's got to be on the field. So yeah. I mean, I think I was very, very impressed with Prentice at the preseason game. I think he can play in out wide. He could also go into the 10 role. Same with Batash, you know, he can play out wide. He could go into the 10 role. I'm, you know, encouraged from that depth perspective. That being
another
said,
25.
Yeah. That being said, they're going to still need additional depth. I think that there will be a signing coming. There should be another one. Yeah. Don't know if it happens by Saturday, but I think
they've been better than last year. I will say of people that we expected to contribute. Where was it? Like we said before, I think Peter Wilson, or was it Peter Wilson and Babosi who both got in really late last year?
Yeah, Wilson missed a couple games, I think, and then you know, I'm blanking on Babosi.
I think he had visas or was announced relatively late.
Like that being said, if you were to ask me who I'm most excited about this season, and I said this on the podcast, it is Babosi. I think he ended the year in such a strong way that could translate into this year. You know, he's also pretty young. He's entering those prime years. And I think, I mean, from what I saw at the preseason game, like there was a lot to be excited about. He landed a shot that was one of the nicest goals I've ever seen in person. Regardless of it being a preseason game, he celebrated like it was a preseason game. So, I mean, he's someone who I know that the team is really high on. They think he is a big part of the future. Same with Ali Al-Masnawi. You know, I really like the midfield spot. I'm sure we'll dive in a little deeper in a second.
Yeah, I guess we could just head to midfield right there. Especially when what we dealt with last year through a large portion of the season, where the midfield at times was just kind of an empty void of you're just hoping that the other team doesn't utilize the space because you've abandoned all hope. To now being like, man, are the Roots, is the midfield a true strength of this team? Where you're just like, wow, okay, you're like, I'm like, who's not getting playing time? And there's some good players not getting playing time, which makes a lot of sense why Danny Gomez was allowed to see another opportunity with El Paso. Was, where are you playing? Like, you're a good, like Danny Gomez is like a classic case of a player. I think they described Keegan Tingey kind of like this, where it's like, he's going to be a 7 and you know it's going to be a 7. But you don't expect an 8 because it's just going to be a really, really good 7. And like that also kind of fits El Paso. Like I fully imagine he is going to be a solid player for them that will score against the Roots, because that is the curse that the Roots have with foreign players, is that they will have the best game of their life, which, you know, happens. But yeah, this midfield, what players in this midfield outside of Babosi are you really kind of excited to see what levels they can kind of step up to?
Well, I think it starts with Tommy McCabe. He's going to be that facilitator, that guy who moves the ball from the defense into the midfield, into the attack. And when we recorded the podcast, you know, Aaron Lawson, he had a very good point where this team really hasn't had that since
so
Jose
long.
Hernandez.
Mm-hmm.
Jose Hernandez, Matias Fasore, those were the 21, 2022,
Yep.
like 2023 guys. And they really haven't had that since then. So I think McCabe really fills that role. He's going to be someone who facilitates attack, turning defense into offense, getting the ball quickly out of our zone, up the field. After that, like I have that as my starting midfield, McCabe next to Babosi. So with that, Ali, as bright as his future is, and how if you asked me at the end of last season who was going to start in the midfield, I would have told you El Masnaoui and Babosi.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now El Masnaoui is fighting for minutes, and I think someone you can't sleep on is Luka Rosic. I can even see Luka Rosic outdoing Gibson. I think Gibson might have a role where he lines up in very multiple different areas, and he kind of said that himself during media day. So I think, that being said, you can't sleep on Ali, you can't sleep on Luka Rosic. I think they will be very, very important to this team, especially for saving the legs of Babosi and McCabe. I think maybe Al Masnaoui can spell McCabe in that similar kind of six. Al Masnaoui showed good defensive moments last year. I think he could do it again. He showed really good offensive moments too.
What's the youngest debut? Was it Alexiev at 18 or?
Well, he was the youngest goal. But
Okay.
I'm not sure about debut. I want to say Javi Bedoya got minutes in Open Cup. He was very, very young. So off the top of my head, not sure, but Ilya was definitely the youngest goal.
Yeah, because when they signed Luka, it was definitely one of those things I was like, oh, he has history in Burlingame. This makes sense as an academy contract. Like, he's coming through the Colorado Rapids system. This could make sense. And then you start getting whispers from people, and they're like, hey, Luka's legit. And it's always hard when it's like, I've had this when I was covering the 1839s out in Napa. It's like, hey, we have this 14-year-old who's on the U14 Mexican national team, and I'm like, okay. And it's like, yeah, he can hang at the lowest level of United Soccer at a 14-year-old, but I'm also like, why is he here? Like, what?
He's playing against grown men. Yeah.
Yeah. They played him for 2 games, and they're like, hey, we did it. And I'm like, did you guys?
How do you do?
And he was also a converted striker into a defender. So it's like, oh, guys, this defender is going crazy. I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing the fundamentals, and I'm seeing his what he's projected could be. But have I heard from him in 5 years? No. So it's like, it just sometimes doesn't work out. But from what I've gathered from talking to a lot of people, and I was looking at some film, he could be a fun wild card. From what we've talked with people, I wasn't expecting him to get playing time, but especially with how cramped the midfield is. But it could also be one of those hey, if Danny Trejo misses time, he just slots into the left side, and you're just let's see what the 17-year-old's got. Of course, are you basing and hoping your entire playoff hopes on a 17-year-old? That's going to be a dark time. And then, then you're not having a good, fun time. But if he actually is, because he was one of the players that I saw at Media Day where mistaken words, English. I thought he was someone way older. I thought he was one of the 23 or 20. I was like, oh, how are you the 17-year-old? Yeah, oh, okay. I see what people are like. There was a couple times when when McCabe let off a shot where it's like, we haven't had the talent overall level where I'm like, there's a lot of good players here, not just a few. I distinctly remember last year at Media Day where like EJ Johnson was doing some like really bad like passing drills, and it's like we're really high on this guy, and I'm like, he's a local kid, so I was like, okay, is there anything else? And it's like, oh no, he's just built like a tank and goes really fast, but we're not sure what else is there. And I'm like, hmm. But with this group, I was like, oh, there's like I think the floor of what this I can't imagine a world where the Roots it's halfway through the season and we're like, well, we're hoping for the 8th seed. Mm-hmm. This seems like one of those teams where it's playoffs should be I don't want to say full on expectation, but it's like I am cautiously optimistic. I know a whole bunch of the like the league wide media people are a lot higher on the Roots, especially like USL All Access was. They're beating the like top 3 for Oakland in the West, and I'm like, okay, guys, I'll believe it when I see it. But this team finds ways to roots it up.
And I feel like I could see a world where Roots do finish top 3. I could also see a world where they finish 7th to 9th. And that is because, well, one, you never know with injuries how they're going to go. You never know how a new team is going to mold together. But also, the West, like everybody got better. You know, the West is going to be super, super tight. And I can see this whole, the table and the alignment of the table coming down to the last couple of games of the season. I think it's going to be that close amongst all the top teams. Like, do we know if Tulsa's going to be that same caliber? Sacramento's always going to be good. New Mexico entering their 3rd year with their coach. I believe so, yeah. That's going to continue gelling and looking better. Lexington has had this crazy offseason where they are clearly the highest spending team in the league now.
They really just from like the transaction, we're like, oh, okay, you guys are going for it. Okay.
Yeah. Like, how quickly can that come together? You never really know with these things. They could be world beaters, finish first, or they could struggle gelling and finish right around where they are right there on that table. So,
okay, no, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's all these teams are really good. I think if we're looking at who the bottom feeders might be, I think it still might be Monterey and Las Vegas. But after that, I think all of these teams on any given game day can beat each other.
Yeah, especially like Tulsa, like they lost their striker to Sporting Kansas City, which like congratulations on Tulsa on making a big old bank of money on that one. But I still see them like they have enough talent that like Tulsa should still be a playoff team. Mm-hmm. Sacramento, and they also just added 2 former MLS guys. They'll be fine. It's Sacramento. Though I am sad that the road game for Sacramento isn't till the last game of the season.
They do that.
So I have to schedule that one later for a road game. But like Las Vegas added a bunch of just like floor raising players. So like I could see them battling for that 8th spot. Orange County, I think, got kind of gutted. They sold off a lot of their talent / let a lot of people go, but they're in the same kind of camp as Monterey Bay, is where they have really good contacts with feeder programs, and they're getting these like 17 to 19-year-old kids where this is their first stop. Are they going to be that player? And last year, a couple of them were. Of course, that turns into good job, Orange County. Also, hey, go rebuild again. I think the Roots, like I said, like my dream for, especially with this probably being my safety guess, the last season in the Coliseum. You never know with the land things with the Coliseum groups, but I would guess that this is the last year in the Coliseum. A playoff game, win or lose, at home in the Coliseum would heal so many beautiful things just from a fan base standpoint. That's my selfish dream for this team. I would love to see a home playoff game. Do I think that's going to happen? I could see them just clocking in at 6th, maybe upset a team in the first round, and the West, especially what we saw in last year's playoff, get into the dance and see what you can do. Because, like, could I imagine Lexington being the top seed in the West and then getting knocked out by, like, like Colorado Springs? Yeah, sounds plausible to me. The West is just nutty this year. I think the West is going to be a lot of fun. I think you're going to have to get 40 points to make the playoffs. And I think this first game against Monterey Bay will tell us a lot.
Yeah.
Is there any things from this offseason / the season ahead that you would like to mention, John?
Oh, off the top of my head.
Serious or silly, whatever you want to kind of write off this last little bit here.
I mean, I'm very encouraged by all the top 3 chatter, top 4 chatter. Mm-hmm. I think that, like, oh boy, how badly does this club need that? Because I think I don't think the home opener will draw a close attendance to what they did last year, but if they get a home playoff game, I think that's the one that could outdo it, and that would be so vital, especially if they could get 2 home playoff games. Mm-hmm. Oh fuck, man!
That would just be greedy. That would just be greedy.
Oh man, give me 2. Give me a top 2 seed. Come on now.
With speaking of I guess the differences from last year, I was torn on Ryan Martin when he was hired, because I definitely I didn't see the issue with Benny Feilhaber's their play on the field, or like I saw the vision of what they could possibly have been. Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Hey, you have Danny Trejo, the perfect type of striker for a Benny Feilhaber offense. But if you were to let him go, you have to have the perfect pick, or you have to have something clearly better to replace him. And from the early keywords being, it is early, but from how he handles himself, how he handles his practice, and how the players are responding to him, I think they made the right move. Is that looking with like different colored glasses of like, oh, this is like the new guy. Don't want to say anything bad about the new guy, but like I truly do, from what I've talking to players and just people at the Roots, I think they made the correct call. And it's also encouraging for this front office that it wasn't an easy decision to go and make a change, but also you had to make the correct change if you were going to make one. Mm-hmm. And I think they have. I really like what Ryan Martin is bringing. I want to see what he does with not scraps, if that makes sense. Because he's so coded of, he's the Billy Bean A's era, where he's taking nothing but slight talent and he's raising it up, which is like what he had to do for DC United through Loudon. But I think with resources and being able to basically cherry pick and take, hey, outside of Abukara, every good player from Loudon, roughly, besides like the goalkeeper, semantics, but he got to take his toys with him and add it to the already decent stockpile that the Roots had. And it's very telling that a lot of the players that the Roots let go haven't been signed anywhere, which is probably pretty telling. And so even the big names aren't signed anywhere outside of Maury Donor up in Canada. So
yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I feel like, and I know a lot of fans liked Benny. They liked the attacking brand that he wanted to install, and they liked his candidness. We certainly did too.
It was great. It was the best great. Of times. It was the worst of times.
Oh, it was the best of times for me and for you. But
Oh yeah.
and for Doug Zimmerman too. Oh my God, I will never forget that press conference and just the conversation us three had amongst ourselves after that. Like I loved it. But anyways, besides the
What a
point,
time.
I feel like the decision not to bring back Benny and the business that they conducted to bring in Ryan Martin and just how methodical of a approach that they took was a sign of maturity, was a sign of growth. Because as I just talked about recently, the Roots took a lot of chances on coaches over the years, from Paul Bravo to Jordan Farrell stepping into the interim, to Juan Guerra, to Noah Delgado, to Gavin Glinton. These were Benny Fellhaber. These were all risky choices. They were giving these candidates their first head coaching job, their first real managerial job, Benny Fellhaber included, knowing that he came from a MLS 2 team. Ryan Martin is the complete opposite of that. It is a coach who you know what you're going to get. It's this coach that doesn't need this crazy long developmental time. Like, yes, Ryan Martin is still going to develop here with Oakland, but these coaches, this long list of coaches that I just mentioned, they were trying to establish themselves in the game as well. They were trying to create their identity on the fly. We heard about, ever since Guerra, we want to have this attacking brand. We want to own the ball, and that continued under Delgado. Delgado tried to have
Has that ever stopped?
He tried to have a system that the opponent really dictated, not their own attacking brand. And then we go to Gavin, and Gavin wants to install this attacking brand, and it didn't fucking work.
Yeah.
We actually saw when Roots were at their best was when they were defensive, very opposite of the attacking brand, but they still like, we're going to try to attack, and it fucking fell through a hole. Benny wanted this attacking brand. He was very much installing his brand on the fly in a short amount of time. And that being said, I thought he did a pretty good job. I'm honestly surprised that he didn't land another at least assistant job somewhere. So
I'm sure he's waiting for and like checking for like, he seems kind of like the guy who wouldn't go be ahead, like the second assistant on a top college team is probably what he should do, and just like become a hot candidate from it, where he definitely seems like the type of person that's going to like, I'm going to wait for, like, there was rumors like fake or real from El Paso.
Well, that was I don't know what the USL site was doing there. That was them writing that, Benny Fellhaber is about to come on, and then 2 hours later they edited it away. I mean, that was just funny.
I'm sure there's some smoke or something there, especially because he conveniently didn't end up anywhere else, where it's like, I could see, though, maybe him in El Paso as a like not culture fit, but like the city, I'm not sure would have gone the best for like overall, but it's in the past. The Benny Fellhaber era is no more. Ryan Martin's time is now. Press conferences will probably be more coach speaky, but that's fine. We'll find ways of getting information. So, but overall, I guess because I know you've already made a prediction on the game, so I will not worry you too much on that. But where do the Oakland Roots end the season? Where do they end in the West, good sir?
Oh boy, that's a tough one.
It's a dangerous question.
There's so many moving parts with that. Like I said a second ago, I can see a world where they finish top 3, top 4. I can see a world where they finish 7th, 8th, or 9th. But that being said, I am optimistic in this team. I think, gun to my head, I'm probably saying fourth place. And
Okay.
I think I mean that is a huge, huge, huge victory for this organization from
Oh yeah.
top to bottom.
If that happens, we won't even have to ask the question, is Ryan Martin the head coach next year? It will just happen.
Oh yes. I mean, he said himself, it's a long-term project. I think, 7th, 8th, 9th, I'm of the opinion that you need to commit to this guy. You can't have another Gavin Glinton, another Noah Delgado where they start slow after 10 games and then you pull the plug. I think that you're building
I think it's due.
Yeah.
If they do, then it's just like they're
then you haven't learned. Then you haven't learned from your mistakes. And I think they have. I think they have they've examined the scars of their past and they're saying, look, this is what we have to do. Even if Martin struggles year 1, he's going to get year 2,
he should.
I think this is a long-term project. I think we'll see, I think the goal obviously is year 3, you compete for a championship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially getting close to, though, I'm just trying to imagine where they're going to play in the future. And I'm just like, it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time. But I'm going to enjoy every second of the Coliseum this year, as many games. I will not be at every single game this year, but I will be at probably 95% of them.
Good for you.
I'm excited to spend way too much time in my car going down the 101, but it should be fun. Another great year.
I'm sorry.
But hopefully I will see many people out. As always, say hi. I had a couple people reach out to me last year and stop me, so that's always fun. But also, before we go, Jon, where can the people officially find all of your lovely stuff and all of the content that you put out?
Yeah, www.oaklandrootsblog.com. You can find me on Twitter or X, whatever, Jonathan_COMO. And yeah, it's going to be a fun season. I'll be down there in Monterey. I think we will both be down there in Monterey.
I have to figure out if I'm going to a tailgate or not, but we'll see.
I am going to the tailgate. I'll be with Homegrown Hooligans and Los Roots and the Monterey supporters groups. It's going to be a nice time. Come on down. Check out Los Roots Homegrown's Instagrams. You'll see the location. That's where I'll be.
Yeah. I'll have to figure out when that all starts. Do you know, is it like 4:00 or something? Or when does
2 p.m.
2:00? Rebellious. Okay. I'm just saying, leave at 9 a.m. I'll get. Okay.
Oh no, man!
I'll probably leave at like 10 a.m. and then just like hang out on the beach or something for a couple hours, but we'll figure it out. I'll probably stop by, just hang out. It can't be a bad thing. So show my face. So
always.
All right, good sir. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure we'll have you on at another probably.
Yeah.
The mid-season special seems like the right place, but
yeah, as always, come on more this season. It'll be a good time. It's always a good time.
All right, good sir. Until next time, and for Oakland Roots, see everyone in Monterey.